Please drop your comment below on how you think the 3 seashells work. I'm dying to know. What's up, guys? This is your old pal CHH here. It's been a hell of a year for physical media, and I gotta be honest, it was pretty cool to see Arrow Video announce this. I mean, could this be considered a 4K of the year? It depends on how much acquisition means to you. You know, a lot of times when we talk about movies, we talk about stuff that is pretty cult-like. Obviously has a fan base, but it's not super pop culture. If you were gonna tell me like a Stallone movie besides Rocky or Rambo, like, I think maybe half out of 10 would say Demolition Man. I mean, like, it was a big deal. It was a big movie. It was a movie I grew up watching. It's always a movie that when it was on TV, I would watch it. And I'm such a big Stallone fan. To say that I was excited when Arrow Video announced Demolition Man would be an understatement. The thing that's so cool about Demolition Man is this, if I could get nerdy for just a second. Cliffhanger saved his career. You know, I don't know how many people really realize that, and probably most of you listening. Some of you, and a lot of you, may know more than me, but I do know this, that after the early 90s, Stallone was kind of looking rocky. He did some bad movies. Oscar, and then Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, really just tanked him. Now, I like those movies, but my point is, you know, he was probably another strike or two away from going straight to video. Like, he was making bad decisions. He couldn't figure out what to do, but Cliffhanger really saved him. But the follow-up for that, I think, was equally as important. He needed to show that, like, no, I'm back, for real. And Demolition Man was great. This was an awesome movie. I love it. Wesley Snipes is honestly hysterical. I really think Wesley is a funny guy. And yeah, Wesley's done some great movies. I wouldn't say this is Wesley's greatest role by any stretch. But in terms of, like, seeing a guy having fun, the Demolition Man just killed. And it's so funny seeing this movie. Did they predict the future a little bit in today's world? I don't know. Obviously, the whole thing about, you know, you can't curse and the morality stuff, like, it's a super PC world they're living in. How could anybody be fat? There's that one heavyset guy in this movie. That's really funny. I love that character, by the way. But it's just like, the food they eat is nothing. It's little looking like pills. So, and then you got all the people underground that are trying to live the old school ways. The funny thing about Demolition Man to me is seeing Rob Schneider in here. It's so funny to me. And I gotta think that Stallone enjoyed working with him a little bit, because if you know, after he did Demolition Man, then he worked on, I believe it was like The Specialist next, but then he did Judge Dredd, and then he had Rob Schneider show back up in that. So I have a feeling that Stallone probably enjoyed working with Rob Schneider a little bit. I feel like a lot of us watching this, we are Sandra Bullock in that movie, in a sense, because she's so obsessed with 90s culture and everything. And when you go to her apartment in the movie, when her and Sly go back to have that virtual sex, which is like one of the funniest scenes to me. Her room, her condo, whatever, it's like filled with 90s culture, with pictures. There's Pepsi LED signs in there. It does make me wonder, though, how did people during that year find that? Did they think that was cool? Did it really represent the way style was back then and home decor stuff? I wonder. Alright, guys, so let's get into it. Now, in this release, there's only the 4K disc, but the cool thing is this. You know, we talked about this with Friday the 13th, where they only released the movie on 4K. With Demolition Man, though, you can get a Blu-ray version of this, and if you're not a 4K person and you love this movie, listen. This goes for you too. We're going to talk about this in detail and all the stuff that this has, and you can get this exact kind of release, this nice, prestigious collector's edition. Now, here's something that Arrow is doing where I can't necessarily say I'm in love with it, but I don't hate it either. They're basically doing slipcovers over their chunky boxes now. The reason I'm okay with it on this one is because I would have preferred to have a chunky box with the actual art of Demolition Man like this, but since they did this art, which isn't bad, I don't hate it, I don't love it either, but since they did it with this art, I'm like, okay, I can understand that. Now, this isn't bad at all, though, so let's just take everything out and see. So, in here, the first thing we'll look at is the case. And we're going to talk about the picture and audio and all that in a second, guys. And you can reverse this art and have that art that's on the hardbox case. You can reverse it to have that. But in here, you've got your one disc. All the special features are on there. And let's have a look at this. So, We've got our cards in here. This literally has a naked Sly on it. And if you look at it, you can see his penis. Yes. Wow, they went for it. Because I heard he was legitimately, like, there's pictures of him naked on this. And I think I'd looked it up before just because, like, why not? But yeah, there's a card with, you can see Sly's junk. Yeah, Sandra was smoking hot in this movie. God, she looks so good in this. Yep, there's Simon Phoenix. There's Stallone. Did you guys remember Jesse Ventura being in this? Like, I guess it just slipped me. This one has just a promotional stuff for Arrow in there. But yeah, I guess that slipped me. But yeah, Jesse Ventura has a role. Whenever Simon Phoenix basically starts his new regime and he's getting ready to try to take over San Angeles, Jesse Ventura is part of the gang that helps throw the guy that's in charge of the city into the fire in that one scene. And I was like, oh yeah, Jesse Ventura was in this. He doesn't have much dialogue though. I think that's why I probably don't remember him in this. You get a sticker of Life is Hell, which is the graffiti that goes over the San Angeles sign. And then the legendary 3 seashells, which back around 2011 or 10, when I was buying all these movies on Laserdisc, and pretty much enjoying them for the first time, well, the first time on home video. Then I subsequently got them on DVD. I remember going online trying to figure out if there really was an explanation for the 3 seashells. I don't think there is. There's speculation. I think the first seashell, I just think you scrape your ass with them, right? Like, what else do you do? Do they do anything? Do they have any capabilities? Does one, like, bidet you? Or is it just the 3 seashells? I don't know, maybe there's endless possibilities, but please drop your comment below on how you think the 3 seashells work. I'm dying to know. Next up, guys, and here we got the book, the morality violation, and God, these books have that strong smell, and these are great, all about the making of the film. I love that sort of stuff. The set design and everything in this movie is so cool. And of course you get your poster, which I can't wait to put up. As much as it breaks my heart, I think Demolition Man it may replace RoboCop. I don't know if I can pull down Conan the Barbarian. But I also love RoboCop right there. So I don't know. I may swap them back and forth. But Demolition Man's awesome, so it deserves to be up there. So, guys, the additives are great. The booklet is great. The stickers are a nice touch. The art is good. I don't love this. So in this case, I am glad that there is a slipcover that goes over it, which has just the poster. The picture quality, how good is it? I have no qualm saying that this is a perfect 10, and I'll tell you why it's a perfect 10. Number one, this was done by Arrow themselves from the negative, and they got the director to approve it. But the second reason I say why it's a perfect 10, because this is so important to me. There's a lot of times on Blu-ray, not so much now with the boutique labels working with these movies, but there was a lot of times on Blu-ray where that shine takes away all the cinematic value of the movie to me. This looks like a perfected version of the Laserdisc, which I remember watching this on Laserdisc all the time when I first got it. It just was beautifully widescreen and cinematic feeling. And this is a perfect version of that old Laserdisc. It is so cinematic. That's the best word to describe this. So that is amazing. I love that about this release, and you'll never ever need to get a new release of Demolition Man for this, unless it comes with actual 3 seashells and a description on how to use them. Picture quality and audio wise, that Dolby audio on here, you've got a 5.1, you got a 2.0. Sensational. This is a perfect 10 transfer in my opinion. And quite frankly, we're getting to the point to where I feel like we should be at the point where most of these should be as perfect as possible. They should be 9s and 10s, which I haven't had a bad experience with 4K in a while, but with Arrow, I never really do. There's just such a quality to what they do, so no surprise, right? It's like, well, of course this should be a perfect 10. But yes, so cinematic. That's what I love about this. Sensational. So, here's the cool thing about this release. This has the standard American version and the international version, which I gotta admit, I will be honest right here and say that the international version was a little bit of a letdown, but I built it up way too much in my head. What am I talking about? In America, the fast food company that survived the franchise wars, as they talk about, was Taco Bell. So when they talk about Taco Bell in here, they verbalize the word Taco Bell out of the actors' mouths, and then you see the futuristic Taco Bell logo. Well, overseas, internationally, I don't know if maybe Taco Bell isn't as popular in other countries as it is in America, and so they wanted to use Pizza Hut, which I think both restaurants are owned under the same parent company. But it's Pizza Hut, and so of course I wanted to watch that to experience the Pizza Hut version for the first time. With the exception of a cool superimposed Pizza Hut logo over where the Taco Bell logo is in the movie, when the actors talk about the scenes where they are mentioning Taco Bell in the American version, they dub Pizza Hut over the mouths of them still saying Taco Bell. I thought maybe they were going to shoot those scenes twice with that lines of dialogue, with one saying Taco Bell and one saying Pizza Hut. No, they're saying Taco Bell, but you hear Pizza Hut out of the actors' mouths, so they ADR'd that in post. And I was just like, oh man. And it's luckily it's maybe 5 or 6 lines of dialogue where they actually say Taco Bell, and you'll hear Pizza Hut in the movie. But it just annoyed me. I was just like, damn it. Like, so I say it was a letdown. I'll tell you this, when you go to experience this movie, it's not going to be like a thing that's going to ruin the movie by any stretch, but my point is, you may as well just watch the Taco Bell version, because that's what they actually say. Now, in terms of special features, let's go look at that, and I'll tell you guys what is good and what is just like, okay, that's cool, but we didn't really need that. So guys, I'm not going to read over everything on here. As you can see, you can pause if you want, but most of the stuff I've already talked about, like, you know, the Pizza Hut version, the Taco Bell version, the audio, how the film was restored, but here's some of the special feature stuff. Demolition Design, a new interview with production designer David L. Snyder. Cryo Action, a new interview with stunt coordinator Charles Prasini. Biggs Body Shop, a new interview with special makeup effects artist Chris Biggs. Tacos and Hockey Pucks, a new interview with body effects set coordinator Jeff Farley. Somewhere Over the Rambo, a new visual essay by scholar Josh Nelson. Theatrical trailer, image gallery, and then of course we got like the booklet. Okay, so all the features that they did with all the people involved with the movie was great. The one with the film scholar, Josh Nelson, it was a history lesson on Los Angeles for like a majority, like actual Los Angeles. So I could have done without that. We didn't really need that. But all the stuff with the people involved with the movie, they talked about a lot of cool stuff. Their relationships with Sly and all that. So all that stuff was great. And it is awesome to have some Stallone on 4K from a boutique label. It just feels so good. Hoping we get a little bit more coming up. Maybe Kino or somebody will do Cobra. Give us a little bit of a, you know, something like that. Over the top, maybe. So there you go, guys. Listen. This is a no-brainer, and if you're a Blu-ray person, get this because it is still restored from the negative and all by Arrow with the director's approval. There's no doubt in my mind that the Blu-ray version of this would obliterate the actual Warner Blu-ray that came out years and years and years ago. So you cannot go wrong, even if you're a Blu-ray person, guys. Pick this up. Demolition, man, definitely one of the best releases this year, in my opinion. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this release, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.